Hello and welcome to Game 3 Rapid Reaction featuring us, the Scoreboard Addicts Podcast, on that sports podcast network, TSPN. TJ, we're up 3-0. How you feeling?
Dude, I'm feeling fantastic. And once again, like I said, after game 2, the Rangers are just absolutely in control, right? Not sweating it out at all. That first goal goes in, a cheapie, right? Like something that Igor stops 99% of the time, and it just finds its way in. And then the Rangers respond, answer right back. Chris Kreider puts the puck in the net.
Yep.
And it's immediate bounce back, dude. And honestly, I think that goal was the goal of the game because it allowed Igor to have that short-term memory, get out of his head, and just play his game. And it was all Rangers from there. The only thing I didn't like, and the Rangers seemed to do this, in the third, they started playing back on their heels again and playing that like prevent, type of defense where it's like, oh, let's just keep tossing it out of the zone and skating back on our heels and not really pushing the puck through the neutral zone and into the offensive zone. And that will like grind my gears every single time.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think they don't keep their foot on the pedal, which we saw not really last year because we only won around the playoffs. We saw that in 2022 when they were against Tampa Bay Lightning, where Gerard Gallant didn't really put the foot on the pedal, didn't stomp any throats. I think he's got to stay aggressive. And you saw Peter Lavalette on the last power play. He actually put Trouba out there instead of maybe putting a forward out there trying to get a goal.
Yeah,
he wanted to play a little more defensively late in that game. Which, I mean, I get you're up 3-1, and you have the power play late in the game, but. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you might want to just get that get the fourth goal, put it out of reach, and just move on with it. Let's go game 4. But I mean, listen, they came up to win anyway. Obviously, the big discussion here, they didn't do right, but then they also did do right. I was talking to my wife. We watched the game together. I'm like, they've actually kind of played shitty, but they've also done really good things. They committed 6 penalties in this game. There's 6 power plays given to the Capitals, but they went 0 for 6 on them. Like, it's not good to have penalties that much at all.
Right.
But you also made them 0 for 6 in the penalties. And at that point, you're thinking, all right, the penalty kills work in this game.
Right. I think the good thing to take away from that is that you can correct those issues, right? The Rangers are obviously going to watch some tape between now and Sunday night. And you'll sit there and watch like, hey, we can't be doing this. Because even though this, and knock on wood, I don't mean to say it like that, but the situation is this series is almost all but wrapped up. I mean, they threw the visual out there. 98% of the time a team goes up 3-0, it's over. You might be able to get away with giving the Capitals 6 penalties because, I mean, their offense is just anemic. It's terrible. It's lacking for, the loss of a better word. But if you're going to try to do this against somebody like Florida or
Carolina,
the Hurricanes or something like that, you're going to get hurt, right?
Like
so,
Jake Guntzel scoring a goal on one of those power plays.
Yeah, bro. But the problem is the penalties were really soft and again very one-sided, almost as if they were really trying to get the Capitals back in that game. Like the NHL made the phone call, like, we need a little more rooting interest for these poor fans. Can we get a little something going for them? Because it was just silly, dude. Those cross checks have been really soft so far this series.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it kind of reminded me of Game 3 for the Knicks because I don't want to go off topic here. Obviously, we're talking hockey, but if you watch Game 3 for the Knicks, Joel Embiid was doing anything he wanted to. They have one Bleacher Report posted a video on TikTok saying, "Look how strong former MVP Joel Embiid was." Like he literally has a moving screen. Threw his ass out while moving into a New York Knicks player, and there's no penalty. It's not a penalty, but there's no foul call. I guess a moving
yeah, no foul.
But then like Lily Hartenstein's like straight up, and he like breathed on Joel Embiid, and there's a foul on him. And Joel Embiid is just one of the softest players in the NBA. He just complains the entire time. He went to the foul line 21 times, and he was still calling for more fouls to be called on him. And then not even that, he hit Hartenstein with a cheap shot. He tried to take out Mitchell Robinson, and the NBA was just like, nope, we're fine. We're not injecting him. We'll let him score 50 points. But that's besides the point. But it was similar to that where the refs or the officials in both of those game threes were trying to get the other team back into it clearly. And listen, the NBA knows their money is made through New York and Philly. They're two big, huge markets. They're not letting the series go 4-0. They're not letting the Knicks 3-0 lead. They had to give Philly one of them. So, I mean, it's the same thing here. They obviously, I think NHL officials are definitely trying to help the Capitals get in there. But listen, this is the thing is the Rangers, I said it on our podcast on Thursday. Check us out every Thursday on the That Sports Podcast Network. It's just the Rangers' talent level compared to the Washington Capitals is just higher than them. And it's just the Rangers cannot do was what they did today. And I was like, don't commit penalties. Don't put them in the power play. Capitals are very good in the power play. And the fact that Rangers were able to kill off 6 penalties without any goals given up on the power play.
Dude, and the shorthanded goal that we pick up another shorty, it just goes to show you that the Capitals, honestly, they're not playoff caliber team. Like they eked in, and that's fine. But we see how many teams make the playoffs in the NHL, almost half, right? Pretty much. Half. So it's you're seeing it in the Islander series, you're seeing it in the Capital series. What are the outliers? Yeah. 2 teams that really barely made it and don't necessarily belong because, I mean, you're talking about juggernauts right now, dude. Tampa Bay is getting their asses kicked every night by Florida. And the Hurricanes are just...
That's crazy, too. They're up 3-0, in that one.
Yeah, dude. So you're dealing with monsters right now, and it's the East is scary, bro. The East can score. They're playing physical. These games are nasty. But speaking about nasty, I mean, the elephant in the room, Rempe gets that bullshit interference penalty. Number one, the fact that they called it interference, okay? The puck was there a second before that. Because you can't call it boarding because it wasn't boarding. You can't call it roughing because it was a clean hit. Arms are down. Yeah. Van Riemsdyk is kind of like already off kilter and leaning back. So Rempe just he stapled him to the boards hard. Van Riemsdyk doesn't come back. Listen, I hope he's okay, but you can't sit out there and let the Tom Wilsons and McElraths out there poke the bear and not expect a little payback. And Rempe's going to go out there and do his job. The only thing that's pissing me off is, number one, that's not a penalty. And number two, the refs clearly are giving him the Sean Avery treatment, right? Mm-hmm. They have an eye on him and the whistle halfway to their mouth anytime he takes 2 strides towards somebody to lay a hit. So you want to say that you don't like Rempe. If you're a Capitals fan, you obviously hate the guy because he's very good at what he does, and that's getting under Tom Wilson's skin big time, right? And he scored a goal in his first playoff game, which was amazing. Yeah. And he's out there throwing hits and dominating the boards and pretty much getting the Capitals off their game. And I said this. I said if the Rangers manage to score one more goal in the second, like get that 2-goal lead, watch how fast that Capitals will melt down. And that's exactly what they did. The scrum started, the dirtiness started. They can't get out of their own way because they cannot keep up with the Rangers offense. It's just not going to happen. And when you have 6 opportunities to score on a power play and you can't, I mean, what else is there? You're done. If you can't score with a man advantage, you're not scoring 5-on-5 unless Shesty decides to take a little nap on a flipper that randomly goes in.
And the thing is, too, I mean, watching this game, at one point they were like, I think it was late in the third, and they were like, Igor has 25 saves. I watched that game. I could have swore he saved like 1,000 goals. Like it
always seems like that.
It seems like that, man. I mean, I know obviously it depends on where the shot is, whatever it is, but he was incredible tonight. Like that's the Igor that we wanted all year long. Obviously, the first half of the year was a little shaky for him. He obviously picked up late in the second half, but I mean, that's the Igor. If that's the Igor we get throughout this postseason, I'm feeling super confident because that guy would stop everything tonight.
To your point, the crazy part is you can't sleep on how much Ryan Lindgren just lays his body out for the team. Like he's just down there in front, knee to the ground, just taking shot after shot. Whatever he can get in the way and be goalie number 2 out there, he's doing. You love to see it.
100%.
We got to see a little nastiness from Miller again, right?
Yeah,
Which is nice to see.
Yep.
Big giant of a man that he is.
Yeah.
You know, if we can start getting him to play a little more like, Trouba and Rempe and get a little nasty edge to his game, Jesus, look out. But again, to reiterate, I really think that Kreider goal was like the basis of setting up this win because it came within 2 minutes of Igor letting that softie in, and it's just gone. Forget about it and move along. Yeah, we're even. 0-0, nothing. That goal meant nothing. Let's go. Wash it away and stand on your head, and that's exactly what he did. Yeah. So, dude, you love to see they had his back there, right? They get one back right away. They're probably telling him, shot to the pad, a little stick check to the pad, like, hey, we got you. Let's go. Get your head back in it. Dunzo. And they were lights out. Chesty's lights out.
He really was.
The Rangers
there were so many shots that I was sorry to interrupt. It was where I'm like, I think it was one point late in the third where I think it was McMichael was shooting and he had the entire right side of the net open. And I'm like, how did he not make that? And they show the replay and Igor just got a blocker on it.
Dude, that was a great save. That was a fantastic save. But the only thing though is there.
And then they look at the replay and Igor actually.
You see a glance off the blocker.
Yeah.
But see, this is the thing that scares me. You're not going to get away with this in round 2, right? Mm-hmm. Listen, again, not touching the money. Knock on wood. Let's get to round 2 first before we start any of that nonsense. But the teams that are going to move on, you're not getting away with that. They're going to score on you. Okay, and it doesn't matter that you have Igor standing on his head between the pipes. You just can't give dominant offensive teams those opportunities. And if the Rangers sit back and allow those to happen, and this is the second game that you get that shooting gallery type of situation where Igor kind of has to stand on his head, or else the game kind of ends differently. So, right, I'd like to see the penalties go away, which I think they take care of.
I think they clean that up.
Yeah, they're going to clean it up. It's soft calls either way. I would like them to play a full 60 minutes with just, head down, pedal to the floor, don't let up, no mercy. You know what I mean? Go for the kill every time. Because that's what's going to get you through the next round.
And that's what I was like. It's so stupid because as a sports fan, especially as a New York sports fan, obviously the Knicks and Rangers just going back and forth every other night, and you watch game 3 of the Knicks, and I was actually pleasantly surprised the Knicks played really well in the first half. They were winning the game into the second quarter, and they had started slow in both games 1 and 2, and I'm like, oh, they're starting they're not starting slow, they're keeping pace. Jalen Brunson's back, and they end up losing, and I'm like, all right, the Rangers started hot. They scored the 2 goals in the first, and in my head, I'm just like, don't get excited because we watched this yesterday, basically. The same movie, different sport. And I'm like, I'm staying pat. My wife was downstairs. I was like, I'm putting Sienna to sleep tonight. I'm putting my daughter to sleep tonight. I need a little break from this because I'm just going to lose my mind watching this. Take a little break, come back down, and then being the Rangers were up 3-1, and obviously that held up. But I'm one of the, as a sports fan, I think sometimes, I don't know if you do this, but you just need to get a break away. I know it's an important game, it's the playoffs, but I still sometimes just need that little break for mentally to be like, right, let me get out of here, give myself a break, regather myself, and be like, all right, I'm gonna go back and watch the game. You know what I mean?
Well,
that's me.
I'm with you, but my break came kind of inadvertently because the extra hot Dave's hot chicken sandwich that I ate today for lunch came back with revenge, and amazingly, it's hotter on the way out than on the way in. So that was my break from the game of me just screaming at my wife, "What's going on?" from the bathroom.
Yeah, it was funny. My wife, I came down. My wife goes, "Did you see what happened?" I said, "They're up 3-1," and she's like, "Yeah, you missed it." I was like, "It's fine. I don't care as long as they're up 3-1." At least it wasn't. Right. If it's 2-2, I'm coming downstairs.
We had a problem.
But the fact that it's 3-1, I'm like, there's bigger issues I could deal with. But as you were saying, Miller, had a little those are my, I told you guys, I have a Lindgren jersey, reverse retro, the navy blue one, not the navy blue, the regular, the royal blue one, from Lindgren. I have the Miller third jersey, that from this year.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of my guys are defensemen. I love defensemen. The only people I have is I have the Panarin, which I've been wearing all postseason long so far, so it's been working.
Oh, yeah.
But other than that, I go for defenseman, and I just feel like having a great defense. I know it's cliched, but defense, man, it wins championships. And having a good defense this year, I mean, those guys are playing. They paired Miller with Schneider this year. Now in the postseason a little more instead of with Trouba. When he was with Trouba, he was terrible. But now that he's with Schneider, he's playing so much better. So you gotta be happy with Miller's performance so far in this postseason.
Yeah, definitely. 100%.
Just Lindgren's. I posted this last year. It was a GIF or a GIF. How it depends on how it pronounced. Depends on what dialect you want to use.
Yeah, right.
But of a guy who was like, I'm part RoboCop and part like $60 million man. That's Brian Lindgren. He is
seriously.
Warrior. He is. I doesn't care. Upper body injury, lower body injury. He has them both. He has injuries from his head to his toes, and he's still out on that ice fighting, knocking down pucks. Doesn't care. That's my guy, Ryan Lindgren.
Ryan Lindgren is going to be like 42 years old at some point and look like he's 95. Just like, oh God, like that poor man everything's going to hurt every day of his life at some point. He's just going to hit that wall of like, oh my God, what happened to you? It's like, I played professional hockey. This is my tapes. And everybody's like, oh, okay.
It's crazy because even obviously last year's run obviously was very short because we got obviously in the first round, but we go back to that 2022 playoff run.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he was on the injury report after every game, and he came back, and it was like Ryan Lindgren, he might not be available.
Did he get hit with a puck in the face that series against the Penguins?
Yeah. Like he didn't even like other players get hit in the face, they break their jaw, something like that. They got to wear the jaw mask around. Like he still has the half glass. Like he doesn't care. Like he's but it was like it was every one of those games. It was like he might not be available. Like trust me, he's gonna be available.
Oh yeah,
and he's gonna be a difference maker. So I'm just thankful he's a New York Ranger, man.
Oh, 100%. So I was in the middle of tweeting this from our podcast account. And then the Rangers went on power play with 3:30 left in the third. And I was literally halfway through about to post it. And it was, for some strange reason, I'm kind of getting the feeling that Igor might get an empty net goal tonight. Playoff empty net goal. And dude, he fucking lasered that one and Obi blocked it. I was like, oh my God, it almost actually happened. It didn't matter that they were on the power play. It almost happened. Dude, if that would imagine that, honestly, and I know there were a lot of Ranger fans down in DC. You could hear him chanting for Igor, all night. But if we're going to do something like that, you got to save that for the New York City crowd, right? You got to save that for MSG. Because I think, like, the lighting fixtures would start falling down from the ceiling. Like if you got to see a playoff Igor Shesterkin goalie goal, are you shitting me?
Dude, when he launched that, I yelled. Like it wasn't even I thought it was good. It looked awesome.
Dude, because he rips the puck. It's amazing. Like, I don't know if you've ever picked up a goalie stick and tried to, like I played ice hockey through high school and then men's league afterwards and stuff like that. And I've goofed around trying to shoot with like the goalie stick and stuff like that. It is ridiculous. It's one of the hardest, weirdest. It's easier to just decide to like play a game left-handed if you're a regular righty.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like trying to shoot with a goalie stick, it's heavier. It's just a weird. And this dude rips it like he's just taking. Yeah, I'm just gonna snipe this top corner. No big deal. He just fires that puck. It's coming, dude. He's gonna get it.
He doesn't have two hands. He's a glove.
Yeah.
And he has that huge stick, and he just fucking. I went like this on my couch. I was like, I thought it was good, and the minute it got knocked down, like a piece of my soul died because I was like, that was it.
Damn you, Ovechkin.
I was like, that was so good. My wife's like, why are you so upset? I'm like, she's like, they're gonna win this game. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, but Igor almost had a goal, and if any Ranger right now needed to like deserve the goal, it was Perkin after what he just did the last 60 minutes,
Absolutely. But I mean, speaking about Ovechkin, again, silent, ghost. Just he's there, but he's not there. He's not the guy sitting at the the top of the circle just getting fed and ripping it. It's not that game. He's lost out there. And
he's older.
I don't think he's done, but something's going on because he's just a shell of himself right now in this series.
We got to think too, like we said before on Thursday night, we were talking about this, was like the Capitals weren't supposed to be here. Like they were sellers at the deadline. They sold off like important pieces that would help them get to the playoffs. And if it wasn't for the Flyers, like basically collapsing, you know, the Islanders and Capitals probably aren't here. Like, or the Red Wings. The Red Wings, like when we were talking about the Rangers, like people were like on Twitter were saying like, well, who do you want the Rangers to play? You want the Islanders, the Flyers, or the Red Wings? Like nobody was thinking about the Capitals being an actual option, like 2 or 3 weeks into like the Rangers, like 2 or 3 weeks out from the playoffs. And they took it, and they're here, but which is good for them. They made the playoffs, but you know, they're not built as a playoff team. Like they're not, there's a lot of pieces missing.
Well, besides the pieces missing, like we said, their offense was terrible this year. I mean, they're definitely the lowest scoring team in the playoffs, but they're probably top 5 lowest scoring teams in the league. I got to look that up because before this series started, Joe Micheletti and Sam were talking about it, and it was like they said their goal totals, and it was like I think half of what the Rangers put up this year, maybe even less than half. So it was like it's one of those things where it's like, how the hell did they make the playoffs? Like, holy shit!
It really is. It actually is crazy. They're facing them, and I mean, when you think about it too, like that game 1, what was the final score? Was it 4-1? I think it was 4-1.
It was so long ago.
It was something like that. But like it was they were lifeless, dude. Like they had nothing going. And like there was times where like even this game, they were like they would just dump it and chase it. And they weren't even getting the puck, and the Rangers just taking it out of the zone, just getting it out of like clearing the Rangers zone like constantly. And I'm like, I know how this feels because I've seen this from the Rangers in the postseason sometimes where they just lifeless and they just can't get down and it's just you're being overmatched, and that's happened before. But I mean, I just don't think they were not built for the playoffs.
No, and if they were, even if they were, they sold the pieces that they had that were ready for the playoffs. So
and then like I said, we were talking about this, the power play, the second half of the season power play, they were number 1. Like they were one of the best power plays, and like the fact the Rangers put on the power play 6 times today, and they weren't the Rangers to lose this game 6-3 is incredible. So I mean, hats off to the Rangers. Obviously, clean it up. You got to play a little better. I know you said obviously I agree with you. Some of those calls were soft, but let's clean it up there.
Yeah. Don't give them the reason. Don't dude. If you're gonna do that and extend your hands with your stick in the middle of it, and somebody goes down, you're gonna draw it every time. At the very least, maybe you get a diving call and it's 1-1. But it's just don't do this. Just keep it down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keep the hands down. Keep one hand off the stick. Then if you're gonna push it away, so it doesn't. You're giving them an easy reason to call a cross check, and they were pretty easy cross checks. They were very light and soft. But you know what? If you give somebody an opportunity to just let a leg go up in the air and fall down and get a call out of it, I mean, it's not soccer, but you give somebody a chance to get back in it and be the hero for their team. Like, oh yeah, I totally sold that one. Got us on the power play and we ended up scoring and tying the game. Like, don't do that. Don't give them a way back in. Just close it out. So
yeah, exactly.
Speaking about closing it out, going into game 4, what do you think are the things that we have to key in on? And what do you think are the things that we have to, I guess, watch out for with the Capitals?
I honestly just think cleaning it up penalty-wise. I know we said it was soft, but like you're still being called for the penalties. Like there's something, like you said, you're keeping your hands up, trying to keep them low, may not get noticed as much. You got to clean up penalty-wise. You listen, 0 for 6 on a power play is rare in the NHL. Like these are professionals. Like you cannot put this team, especially a team who is known to score on the power play. You gotta clean it up. That's key number 1. And then number 2 is watching out Capitals. I mean, I'm not worried about a single player on the Capitals. Like I don't think there's not one guy that just sticks out and be like, this guy keeps he's killing us. He's scoring a lot. Like they're not scoring a lot of goals. The final I know was 4-3 the other day, and the first one was 4-1. Today's 3-1. But it's not like there's not one guy to key on and be like, all right, this is the guy we have to watch.
Shut this guy down, right? Yeah,
exactly. But I feel like it's just don't let them get ahead. Don't let them get any confidence. They're down 3-0. They're going to play dirty. They're going to play chip. It's going to be chippy hockey. Like it's going to be just like I said this last time, and then Nick made fun of me because I said, keep your composure. And he's like, what are you quoting old school? But like, honestly, it's funny because I meant to send it to you guys, but Adam Fox, they like interviewed, like obviously they don't know media interviews, whatever. And one of the things Adam Fox was to say was he said, keep your composure. He's like, we got to keep our composure here. So like, really, it's the same thing. Keep your composure. Don't go to the level. They're going to be chippy. The only way they can get to the Rangers, because they're not there talent wise, is going to be to try to get you into a fight, which Tom Wilson tried to get Rempe into a fight earlier in the game. Just keep composure, stay straight. There's no real threat on this team that I'm worried about. Obviously, Ovechkin's Ovechkin. I have to give him his respect, but we have not seen that Ovechkin in the first 3 games. So I can't say just lock up Ovechkin and that's our key. It's just don't fall into the trap of them trying to bring you out into, play their goon game, right? You don't want to get into fights. You don't want to take stupid penalties. You want to hurt anybody.
Right.
Play our game, score some goals, win the game. Let's go home. Let's head to round 2. Hopefully, like I said, I'm not touching the money. I know we're up 3-0. Crazy things have happened, but I think with the Rangers' talent compared to theirs it's just head and shoulders at this point. But what do you think about the Rangers' key and then what they should do with the Capitals?
I honestly, like, just from a standpoint of staying hot and not like getting in anybody's head, I want to see Panarin score a goal game 4. I want to see, because Panarin is that guy, right, that you want to lean on. And I mean, he was supernova hot all year, with the goals. And come the postseason, he has the tendency to fall off, right? That's what we've seen historically so far with the Rangers.
Yeah.
I want to see him. He's got a goal already so far in the series, and that was game 1, and he's been silent for 2 games. I want to see him get that goal and kind of just keep the monkey off the back. Don't think about, like, oh, hey, it's been 3-4 games. I haven't got a goal 5 games. You know what I mean? Get the monkey off the back, put a puck in the net, game 4, and then we can roll that into the next series. And then I think you hit the nail on the head as far as what the Capitals, what you want to avoid. Don't stoop to their level and play their game. You don't have to give Wilson the fight. Don't get me wrong. I love the rough stuff, and I want to see Rempe and Wilson square up. Yeah. But you know what? At this point, it seems that the Rangers are moving on to round 2. No reason to have Rempe possibly get injured. And I don't mean Tom Wilson beating the shit out of him. I mean, you're throwing punches. The guy's wearing a helmet. The guy's wearing equipment. It's really easy to break a finger or 2 or knuckle. And there goes, you're done for the rest of the playoffs, or at least missing a good chunk of the next series. Right. So there's no reason to do it. Don't let them bait you in. If something happens to take place and transpire that deserves a little bit of violence and the rough stuff, then you go from there. But don't let Tom Wilson bait you in, because he's essentially a 0 out there. He's a net negative. And all he's doing is running up into Rempe's face and trying to draw him in. Same thing with McElrath. They're trying to draw him in. They're doing the chirping. At some point, Tom Wilson will take a major penalty, right? He's going to do something stupid, because he's doing absolutely nothing else. So don't stoop to their level. And if that does happen to show up, then 100% I expect somebody like Trouba to skate up to Tom Wilson and be like, fuck you, it's me. It's me. It's not Rempe, it's me. Let's go. Yeah. And even Ryan Lindgren, I don't know if you saw that when him and Wilson were in each other's faces, Wilson was saying something to the effect of, like, what are you going to do? You going to fight me? Are you going to give me the fight? Like something along those lines. I'm an amateur lip reader. Professional mind reader, right, sweetheart? Staring at my wife. Yeah, right. But like, you could see it, and Ryan Lindgren was like, "I don't give a shit, dude. Like, you got nothing. Shut up." I get hit in the face with pucks left and right. I get thrown headfirst into posts and stuff like that. Like, what are you going to do to me? You got nothing, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
it's funny.
Dude, like
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Go
good.
ahead. No, I was gonna say because you mentioned before about Panarin, I actually didn't realize like there's been plays where like he's made a good pass or anything like.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
figured he had at least a couple assists. He only has 1 point. He has the one goal. He doesn't have anything
Yeah.
else besides that. So I would obviously like to see him in Game 4 wake up, and that's kind of like the Knicks. With Jalen Brunson, like he needed to wake up, but he woke up in Game 3. Unfortunately, they lost. But that's why I've been comparing Artemi Panarin to Jalen Brunson a lot because they're short in stature. They're just incredible players. If you take Panarin off the Rangers, if you take Jalen Brunson off the Knicks, those teams aren't making the playoffs. Like they're not. Like he was so good in the regular season that the Rangers aren't probably where they are. Like maybe the Rangers make the playoffs because half the league, and maybe the Knicks make the playoffs, but they're not in the position they're in without those guys. Like the
And they
Rangers
weren't.
are
Yeah,
not
the Rangers don't win the President's Trophy.
Absolutely
100%. They don't. You know what I mean? Panarin carried this whole season. 100% carried. But I will say this: every game I am more and more impressed with Vinny Trocheck because he's just like
I was just about to get to
top tier goal scoring coming out of him left and right. Dude, that pass from Mika, that setup, and he just threads the needle. Oh my God.
It was beautiful. And I was about to say that was Vincent Trocheck and Zibanejad lead the Rangers in points. They're both at 5 each. I mean, they're just they've been playing at the same level they were playing. Well, obviously, Zibanejad is better than he was in the regular season, but
yeah,
Vincent Trocheck is playing at that same level that he was at, that he had all season long, which is awesome. So he's got 2 goals so far, 3 assists. Zibanejad has 1 goal and 4 assists. So even though he's not putting the puck in the net, he's
doing the right things.
He's doing exactly. And even I know we were talking about this on Thursday night. Rosovic. Like I know you guys were talking about. I think I'm actually pretty impressed with him playing the postseason. He's doing like
dude.
Nice
he was silent since we picked him up. Since we picked him up the trade deadline. Him and Wenberg, but. Yeah, Rozovic, you're hearing his name left and right now in the postseason. He's making these little plays that are noticeable to generating offense or at least high probability scoring attempts, right? Like getting pucks to the slot, hitting people with crisp tape-to-tape passes. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was sitting here kind of like very unimpressed with Drury's trade deadline acquisitions and I guess lack of movement. But so far, I mean, the Rangers look pretty damn good. But again, it's against the Capitals and there's a tough hill to climb in front of us right now. So, I mean, I think that's it. You got anything else, Rook?
No, I just take it one step at a time too. Obviously we're saying it's round 1 to get to the Capitals, but if these guys are making improvements in the ice, I feel like it's a confidence builder, right? And as Rangers fans, right? When was the last time we were up 3-0? We should probably look this up, but I was looking at the
17 years.
Is that what they said?
17 years.
They've been up 3-0 in a series. Like 2022, we're playing the Penguins, and we're up. We're down 3-1, and we had to go to Game 7 in order to win the first round.
That was
the Rangers
awesome.
were clearly better than that team. It was awesome, but the Rangers were clearly better in that series.
Yes.
Like they're a better team going to that series, and we had to go to Game 7. Like as a Ranger fan, I'm not used. I'm not used to something like looking this easy. Where I'm like, where's the other shoe's going to drop somewhere right now? I'm looking over my shoulder.
It's definitely not easy. It's the fact that they're making it look easy that is definitely building confidence and makes me happy. And it's nice to not be sitting there pulling my hair out what little is left. You know what I mean? Because that's generally what we do. And I'm sure I'll be bald by the end of the next round of this playoff run. But it's nice to see the Rangers stick to their game, do what they're supposed to do, and close out a softer, you know, kind of easy team. I don't mean to say it like that, but, there's no easy teams in the NHL. But when you're the first seed and you get to kind of play the worst seed, this is exactly what should happen.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. We're number 1 seed coming into the playoffs, and people are shit talking us because when it comes to the national media, they don't like us. All right. They just don't like us. I'm going to share this for everybody. But this is it. It's New York versus everyone, right? This
Can
is
you
the
enlarge
shirt we're
that?
selling. New York versus everybody. It comes to the Knicks, it comes to the Rangers. It's just what happens. So if you guys want to check it out, go to
There we go.
our store at DC4Lcustomtees.com and then look for the Scoreboard Addicts podcast page. We have these New York versus everybody shirts available. I'm going to go to the Scoreboard Addicts store right now. We have Nick-centric ones, and we actually made combo ones. This is actually my favorite ones. I'm gonna pick these up real soon. It's
I got a bunch in my cart right now. I don't care. I'll fully admit, listen, we're working with a small business right now.
Yeah.
So, it ain't like we're sitting here on stockpiles of free shit. I'm buying myself a few of these shirts.
I'm buying myself too. I'm buying this new New York with the combo Rangers logo, Knicks logo, and then you have the New York in Knicks colors, and the York is in Rangers colors. I love them. I think they're pretty cool. But
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's check it out. Let us know. Hit us up. Listen, we're here.
Check out if you need the website. It's on our just check our Twitter.
Yeah, we posted it. And listen, we're here.
You're helping a small business if you buy them. Obviously, listen, if you're a Ranger fan or a Knick fan, they're easy to like, simple designs, but right to the point. You know the deal. New York City versus everybody. That's what we are. Everybody hates us, especially the sports media throughout the country.
Charles Barkley, Paul Bissonnette.
Yeah.
PK Sluban. What else?
Sluban. So listen, you guys know the deal, but it's $21. You're helping out a small business. You're helping us out, and I mean, we're gonna help ourselves out by buying our own shit. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I mean, we don't get much from it. So for us, we're basically just helping a small business out, trying to grow them. And listen, if I could see people with New York versus everybody shirts all over New York State or New York City, it's just awesome. I'm thinking about it. Even if it's not even about sports, it literally is always New York versus everybody, right?
Well, that's our attitude. The hell with everybody else.
New York versus themselves sometimes, but in this situation where versus everybody else, we're a united front. The Garden is busy.
Oh,
the Garden is busy. The Garden is eaten once again. We're gonna be busy, hopefully until June with both basketball and hockey with the Knicks and
nice
and Rangers. It'd be awesome to be 1994 all over again. I like to party like 94, but yeah, check it out. Listen, we appreciate you guys listening and watching us tonight. If you at any point, feel free to comment, tweet at us, let us know. We'll read your comments live on the air, and we like to discuss. We love talking to Ranger fans. We like drinking bourbons or beers and just shooting the shit with some of the fellow Ranger fans. So hit us up.
Shout out to our guy, third period bourbon, Dave.
Yeah, Dave, where are you, Dave? we invited him on the show, and he's like, just disappeared. He did
say he was having a very good time. He may be inebriated, living it up in his nice new apartment. So I'm sure he's enjoying himself. He definitely enjoyed that third period.
But he definitely enjoyed that third period. I'm actually enjoying the third period a little more. And my little overtime, maybe double overtime here at this point. But thank you for listening and tuning in to us at the Scoreboard Addicts Podcast on that sports podcast network. Check us out here and over on our Twitter account at Score Addicts Pod. And
let's go Rangers, baby. Let's go Rangers. Let's go Knicks.
That's important. A lot of you guys missed out on the intro that we created. So a great montage of the New York Rangers season. A lot of people joined after the intro started. So I'm going to play it one more time to play us out. Play us out? What is that supposed to be? Fuck it, I'll do it live. Do
it live. Yes, absolutely. But yep, thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you guys Sunday night for Game 4.
Yep, we'll see. Obviously, I forgot to mention that. We're here after every Rangers game, win or lose. When we lose, you'll just see TJ and Nick and I very angry and depressed. But there was actually the one time I know we're supposed to be leaving here, but the one time that we were on, it was the Rangers were down 3-1 against the Penguins. We brought on Dave from Third Period Bourbons, and we started doing the third period bourbons, and that entire series turnaround, we went to Eastern Conference Final, and it was some good times. That was actually fun. We lost, and we all joined on, and we had a great time. But listen, we're here, win or lose, we're boozing, and New York Rangers. Let's go Rangers! No quit in New York, and hopefully we have a good long run here. So thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it. See you guys next time. Peace.